Welcome to the roof of Fort Dunlop.
It's a beautiful place. I can see the M6 from here.
M6 and the Jaguar plant over there.
Yeah.
You can't beat it. Been a long time?
Yes, it has actually. You've been on holiday.
You've been away?
I've not been away. I've been working hard, unlike some people, you know. Nice to the grindstone. Can you see the kind of like the scars on there?
The scar on there.
Yeah.
But sports personality of the year. I watch it every year. The M people bit, my skin fall off with cringing. But I looked at the list, and apart from Andy Murray, who's done fantastically well to be behind Nadal, Federer and Djokovic, we were all winners. But is this a vintage year for British sports or a one-off?
I think it's helped that we've had the Olympics this year because we found lots of sports we can sit down and be good at, cycling, kind of rowing. But no, I mean, I do think that if you look at British sport, there's been a lot of fundamental changes. If you look at like the academies been putting into place and the cricket, with the athletics, with the Olympics coming up, I think it is very promising. I mean, Andy Murray's just brilliant. It is a shame that he didn't get rewarded, but there were so many good people. I actually, to start with, felt a little bit irked. I thought Lewis Hamilton should have won. Winning the Formula 1 World Championship is an incredible achievement.
Yeah.
But in hindsight, I'm now thinking, it's nice to reward people like Adlington, Chris Hoy, and if nothing else, it was awesome to see Lewis Hamilton having to take second place, and you couldn't see him behind Chris Hoy's thigh. He was like that, hello. But yeah, I do think that British sport is in probably the healthiest position it's been for a very long time, and I think that the sport of the year, the sports personality of the year, really kind of like highlighted that. It's good to be British at the moment.
The England cricket team. My dad asked me at the weekend how we're getting on. I joked with him. We're in the perfect spot to throw the game away entirely. Was that the best batting display we've ever faced on a final day, or was it just a woeful England bowling performance?
See, yeah, well, it was a shock result. As I say, as an England fan, as you were saying to your dad, it's kind of, you almost expect them to throw it away, and then in that game you thought, well, surely we can't do it now on the final day. We've got to beat them. You know, the highest ever run chase on that pitch was 155 in the fourth innings before. But yeah, I don't think you can blame the bowlers totally. It was a flat pitch. Sure, they didn't hit their straps, they weren't amazing. But, you know, the little master, Sachin and Yuvraj, who's just a complete hero in India, I think they played spectacularly. I mean, they set world records, you know, and when you lose to players as good as that, sure, it's not great, but I think the England players will be a lot more confident going into the Mohali test now after that result. And I also think it was pretty much apt and perfect after everything that happened in Mumbai for an Indian team to win and to lift the nation. And yeah, it's going to be interesting. I think England might challenge a little bit more in Mohali. They're talking about dropping Panesar as well, and Ian Bell, so it'll be interesting to see if they do bring in a couple of other alternatives. But I'm excited about the test. But yeah, I think in hindsight, I'm sure the England players will be thinking there were other ways they could have won that game.
Is KP the man for the job?
Do you know what? Unreservedly, yes. Not only, I know he hasn't, you know, pulled things off with the bat recently in the test match, looked pretty out of touch, and you know, was trying to attack to get out, you know, to get in form, which is always a terrible thing to do. But as a captain, I've been so impressed with his maturity, his attitude, and I think he is getting the best out of those England players. I mean, let's remember before the Chennai test, everyone was saying, you know, we were going to get rolled over in 3 days. So for us to go into the final day with a chance of winning, and for the guys to actually perform, I mean, Strauss was a guy who's completely out of form. I mean, he wasn't even playing shots; he was just kind of nudging, nerdling. Same with Collingwood. But it worked, and I think KP seems to be getting the best out of those players because they're not as good a team as India, and they're playing on a par with them. So, yeah, stick with KP. If nothing else, he's got a great accent, my bro.
It's been a long time since we had a Wilkins sporting rant, so what's on your ranting mind this week?
Do you know what's on my sporting mind the most? And I can't believe I'm saying this as an Arsenal fan, is the emergence of Aston Villa as the fourth best team in the Premiership. And I mean that. I mean, I thought it would be Man City with the money they had. And I know I've actually been chatting to Martin O'Neill on a regular basis at the press conferences and stuff, luckily, nicely. Me and him are really good friends. He looked at me once. But no, I know one of the things that was a problem for Villa in the past was getting themselves up for the smaller games. You know, they played well against the Big Four, well, the old Big Four, we should say, but against Middlesbrough, teams like that, they were struggling and they weren't looking like the same team. Martin O'Neill's turned that around, and I know he's been doing a lot of things in training to try and get his players focused and up for that. And oh my goodness, they look amazing. Ashley Young bought him, 8 million last January? He's got to be worth 40 million now, and he genuinely looks like one of the best players in the Premiership. He's an English Ronaldo. Fabio Capello, take note. Gabby Agbonlahor, superb. You know, you've got quality throughout that team. I don't think they've got the biggest squad, but I do genuinely believe they're the fourth best team in the country now, and they've leapfrogged my beloved Gooners. Which is a shame, but next time and when I see Martin tomorrow, in fact, I'm doing a press conference with him. I won't tell him that, but no, yeah, I think for Villa fans, this is a momentous last couple of weeks. They've really turned it around. It could be a great Christmas period for them, and of course, Boxing Day, Arsenal Villa at Villa Park. I'm going to be there. Bring that on. I think we'll see. Unfortunately for me, Villa win.
Well, Luke,
Johnny,
thanks for your time.
Always a pleasure. Thank you for the lovely view, scenery, and just brilliant motorways.
You're welcome.
Thank you.